Welcome to Washington. I'm Shannon Bremen for Brett Baer. Democrats are pushing back, declaring any FBI report incomplete without interviews from Judge Brett Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford. The stance taken as the hours tick down for the FBI to release its report on Judge Kavanaugh and for the Senate Majority Leader to trigger a vote on the president's Supreme Court nominee. As senators await the crucial next steps, the heated debate over the nomination has gone from a search for the truth to a debate over the tone which the president is taking. Chief White House correspondent John Roberts is following it all from the North Lawn. Good evening, John.
Shannon, good evening to you. Democrats are upping the pressure for the FBI to interview Judge Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford. Senator Dianne Feinstein saying that no investigation would be credible without those interviews, and Ford's attorneys sending a message to Senator Charles Grassley that he will only get the information he's looking for regarding Christine Blasey Ford's counseling sessions and polygraph test if she hands them directly to the FBI. All of this as three key Republican senators appear none too happy with President Trump.
At a campaign rally in northern Mississippi last night, President Trump wound up his base, unloading on Judge Kavanaugh's accuser, Christine Blasey Ford.
I had one beer. Well, do you think it was? Nope, it was one beer. Oh, good. How did you get home? I don't remember. How'd you get there? I don't remember. Where is the place? I don't remember. How many years ago was it? I don't know.
The rally crowd threw its full-throated support behind the president. But in Washington, the three Republican senators crucial to Kavanaugh's confirmation condemned the president's remarks.
I don't approve of the comments from last night. I thought that they were wrong and extraordinarily unfortunate.
I wish he hadn't have done it. I just can say it's kind of appalling.
The president's comments were just plain wrong.
At the White House briefing today, the press secretary said President Trump was just being honest.
Why did the president say what he did last night in the way that he said it?
The president was stating the facts. Every single word Judge Kavanaugh has said has been picked apart. Yet if anybody says anything about the accusations that have been thrown against them, that's totally off limits and outrageous.
At last night's rally, President Trump complained the process has been completely unfair to Judge Kavanaugh.
A man's life is in tatters. A man's life is shattered. His wife is shattered. His daughters, who are beautiful, incredible young kids, they destroy people. They want to destroy people. These are really evil people.
I would never do to them what you've done to this guy.
But even the Republican senator who forcefully made that same point in last Thursday's hearing says the president went too far.
President Trump went through a factual rendition that I didn't particularly like, and I would tell him, knock it off. You're not helping.
As the supplemental FBI investigation of Judge Kavanaugh nears its end, Fox News has learned that there has been no request from the White House for the FBI to interview either Judge Kavanaugh or Christine Blasey Ford. Ford's attorneys are outraged, but one of those key Republican senators indicated he's okay with that.
I'm not troubled by that as much as if we came back and found out that the FBI only followed a couple of leads or interviewed just a couple of people.
Sources tell Fox News there are some circumstances in which Judge Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford could be interviewed. For example, if the FBI develops some contradictory information in its interviews with other people, or if a Republican senator were to insist that the interviews happen. But so far, Shannon, none have asked.
All right, John, we know just moments ago we found out that Senate Democrats on the Judiciary Committee are suggesting something about past background checks of Judge Kavanaugh. They say there could be evidence of inappropriate behavior. At least they're questioning something the chairman's had to say. What can you tell us?
Yeah, this is something that's just broken in the last few minutes. All 10 Democrats sent a letter to the Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Charles Grassley suggesting a tweet that he sent out about Judge Kavanaugh is inaccurate. That tweet said, quote, "Nowhere in any of these 6 FBI reports, the previous FBI reports on Judge Kavanaugh, which the committee has reviewed on a bipartisan basis, was there ever a whiff of any issue at all related in any way to inappropriate sexual behavior or alcohol abuse." These 10 Democrats are now saying that based on what they know about these previous 6 FBI investigations, that statement is not true. They're not saying what part of it is not true, but they are asking Senator Grassley to have a full briefing with them about the new supplemental FBI investigation before going public with any of the information, or before a vote, certainly, in the Senate. We'll see what happens.
All right, we will. John, thank you very much. The tension on Capitol Hill is palpable as senators await the FBI report. It could be released any moment. And the Senate Majority Leader prepares to set a confirmation vote on Judge Kavanaugh in motion. Chief Congressional Correspondent Mike Emanuel's tracking it all on Capitol Hill.
Security is tight and tension is rising as the Senate prepares to start the clock on Judge Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation process.
The FBI is finishing up a supplemental background investigation. It will soon add this information to Judge Kavanaugh's file for senators' consideration.
The simmering tension between McConnell and Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer has reached a full boil.
It is classic diversionary, blame the other person tactics when he himself is the master of delay.
With the FBI background report expected to be finished any time, sources tell Fox News the GOP leadership plans a tight lid on its access, with only a single copy to be available on request to senators and secured in a combination safe. Senators are looking at a 4-day effort ahead. Day 1, McConnell files cloture to start the clock. Day 2 is a layover day. Day 3, procedural vote on whether to end debate. And Day 4, the Senate votes on confirmation. Patience among decided Republicans is running thin.
It's time for the senators to be senators, for women to women up, men to man up, and let's vote.
Despite the partisan posturing, both sides acknowledge this drama comes down to a handful of undecided senators.
Well, I'm looking at the gentleman as an adult. You know, I'm looking a little bit of everything. I'm trying to put the human side to it.
Everyone has asked, what's it going to say? How am I going to react? I have no idea.
Even before they get to see the report, Democrats are already ripping the FBI.
I don't think they're doing the thorough investigation that we had hoped and that they promised, and they're not doing the thorough investigation that even President Trump said so, that he called for.
And there's no let up in the bipartisan bickering over Judge Kavanaugh's public testimony last Thursday.
And I'm concerned, I'm frankly more concerned right at this moment about judicial temperament, frankly, the worthiness of this candidate or any other candidate to serve on a court of this importance.
I thought Kavanaugh was treated like crap. Yeah, well, boo yourself.
In Congress, pressure tends to force action. Shortly after the FBI report arrives, Majority Leader McConnell is expected to start the clock, and then it will be time for the undecideds on Kavanaugh to get off the fence. Shannon?
All right, Mike Emanuel on Capitol Hill, and we want to follow up on something from the Senate Judiciary Committee, the back and forth we had with John Roberts about Democrats saying that the Judiciary Committee had inappropriately tweeted something regarding Judge Kavanaugh. Well, this is what Senate Judiciary is now saying. They tweet. Nothing in the tweet is inaccurate or misleading. The committee stands by its statement, which is completely truthful, more baseless innuendo and more false smears from Senate Democrats. The Republicans on the committee had said nothing in FBI background checks found any inappropriate behavior by Judge Kavanaugh. The Democrats said that's not true. Back to the Republicans who say it is. We'll watch it. Meantime, the midterm elections are just about a month away, and Senate races across the country are going to be tight. We've got brand new Fox News polls that show several Senate races are far from settled. In North Dakota, Democratic Senator Heidi Heitkamp is the most vulnerable incumbent, as her opponent, Kevin Cramer, now leads by 12 points. In Tennessee, Republican Marsha Blackburn is ahead of Phil Bredesen by 5 points, while over in Missouri, the race between Senator Claire McCaskill and Republican Josh Hawley is now tied up. In Arizona, though, Democrat Kyrsten Sinema tops Republican challenger Martha McSally by a 47 to 45% margin. And finally, in the three-way bid for Senate in Indiana, Democratic incumbent Joe Donnelly tops Republican challenger Mike Braun by just 2 points. The ongoing fight in Washington over the president's Supreme Court pick could have some real effects across the country this November, as it fires up voters who either want to see Judge Kavanaugh confirmed or denied. Correspondent Peter Ducey reports on one of those key races from Burlington, Wisconsin.
In 2016, Republican candidates repeatedly called to build the wall.
Let's get the confirmation process done.
In 2018, they're calling to confirm Kavanaugh.
Look what they have done to Judge Kavanaugh. I don't know about you, but I am ready to have Judge Kavanaugh be the next justice on our United States Supreme Court.
Wisconsin's Republican Senate candidate Leah Vukmir doesn't think voters are just watching the Kavanaugh developments. She thinks they're acting on them.
People are energized. They want it. I'm hearing it on the phones as I talk to people as well.
Vukmir wants to unseat one-term incumbent Senator Tammy Baldwin, who is a no on Kavanaugh, in part because, quote, I cannot support a nominee for a lifetime appointment who would turn back the clock on a woman's constitutional right and freedom to make her own health care choices, including access to birth control. But Senator Baldwin staked out that position on July 12th, and Republican women in Wisconsin think the way more recent hearings played out changes things.
I would have voted anyway, but it does motivate me to sort of touch out to other people and say, you got to get out and vote.
It's tearing me apart that we have basically become, like a civil war, basically, only, it's Dems and Republicans.
I don't think he's being treated fairly, and definitely I'm going to be going to the ballot with that in mind.
The former White House Chief of Staff and RNC Chair Reince Priebus believes something is brewing.
I think the base sees this a fight over our conservative values and whether or not they want to sit back and just watch a man's life get destroyed through politics.
Ultimately, it won't matter unless people paying attention now actually vote.
I think it is going to increase our turnout.
In 2016, there were plenty of Republicans who voted for President Trump just because of his promise to put conservatives on the Supreme Court. 2 years later, Republican challengers like Leah Vukmir are hoping that strong feelings stirred by the actual process of putting a conservative on the court help them unseat Democrats. Shannon?
Peter Ducey, thank you.